un hombre extraordinario.
Me impresiona mucho.
Pues ¿sabes qué? Yo creo que no es tanto el físico, es más bien la personalidad que tiene y todo lo que proyecta.
Ya me lo imagino con su smoking blanco, un martini en una mano y un costoso habano en la otra.
Provocativo. Atractivo.
A new stereophonic sound spectacular.
Hello there, and welcome to the exciting world of HIP. This is a new departure in language instruction for English-speaking people who want to talk to and be understood by jazz musicians, hipsters, beatniks, juvenile delinquents, and the criminal fringe.
Bonjour madame, bonjour monsieur. Nous allons, grâce à ce disque créé spécialement pour vous, essayer de tirer ensemble le maximum de qualité sonore de votre chaîne haute fidélité.
Sit back, relax, and close your eyes.
The eternal message that's at the foundation of Western civilization, and I would say necessarily at the foundation of civilization as such, is that we are each a divine locus of value, right and responsibility. And if that's true, then we each have a cardinal and irreplaceable role to play in the destiny of the world. And I also believe that's true.
Alexander Solzhenitsyn once said that the strength or weakness of a society depends more on the level of its spiritual life than on its level of industrialization. If a nation's spiritual energies have been exhausted, he said, it will not be saved from collapse by the most perfect government structure or by any industrial development. A tree with a rotten core cannot stand.
We have the remnants, the symbols of Western heritage and their seeds, and all we have to do, those of us who inherited it and enjoy it, is to go and seed them, grow them, nurture them, water them, and when they're attacked, fight for them.
We are convinced that decline is not inevitable, that there is a compelling, hope-filled vision for the future. We possess the knowledge that truth does exist and can be found, that foundations can be rebuilt, that people are valuable, and that the long arc of history bends towards justice.
As Chesterton said, the problem of disbelieving in God is not that a man ends up believing nothing. Alas, it's much worse than that. He ends up believing anything. In fact, there's a two-step process. It starts with nihilism, which is the disbelief in anything that matters, the idea that there's no meaning or purpose in the world, and then that turns into the creation of these new secular religions.
Whatever it is you're chasing right now, it ain't it. Whatever it is you think is the most important, it's not. It's not the most important. The supreme good is not money, it's not energy, it's not freedom, it's not family, it's not knowledge, it's not safety, it's not diversity, and it's not inclusion. Though all those things are good, they should never be treated as the supreme good, lest they become idols and gods that will tyrannize us.
A kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. At every level, family, nation, neighborhood, we are increasingly weak and divided. Unless we can find a way to repair our social fabric, the decline will surely be terminal.
We must organize better, much better, to uphold the values of individual freedom against all the forms of tyranny that threaten it.
It was a time where leaders right across the board, artists and authors, politicians and scientists, thinkers and writers, all started asking, what can I do to serve?
What good culture does is it channels our instincts in the best possible direction and encourages us to make decisions that are good for us long term and also good for our descendants long term.
It's the beautiful that arrests you. Aesthetic arrest, it stops you in your tracks. It elects you and then it sends you on mission.
There is a lot at stake. But also that we can't just wait for someone else to act. We all need to take responsibility. We all need to play our part in rebuilding a better world. If we don't act, who will?
Welcome, everybody. Happy Friday the 13th. I'm so happy to be before you today. I'm Alexandre Frédéric Joly, streaming live from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and North America. It's 12 noon 06. I showed you the invitation for the ARC Forum of 2025 in London, UK. This is an organization that I've been following since its inception in 2022, 2023. As you know, I'm a strong believer that after the pandemic, there was a wake-up call for a lot of people. There were some other type of things, but one thing I identify is the split in our society. And instead of going into this polarization of ideas, the polarization of policy, politic, and other stuff, I prefer to be a constructive optimism agent of trends for action, proposing to the world more than only two ways. So we're going to see this noon a proposal of mine after my passage at Agile Boston, especially in the private dinners between the conferences. We were talking about the future of Scrum. Okay. In Ottawa, also at the PMI Ottawa, we were talking about the future of work with this automation, not automatization, automation with AI and stuff like this. The world is in constant movement. The VUCA, which is volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, it's on full blown since 2020. We have wars and rumors of wars. We have economic difficulty, fiscal difficulty. Just in Canada, in the last 5 years, since 2019, we have over $500 trillion that went out, all capital and investment that went out of my country, Canada, towards the United States and the M&A. I work with a lot of VC. They don't want to invest a dime in the West anymore. They want to invest it in Africa and Arabic and everything. So you see, and I would like to welcome everyone. There's a lot of people today. Probably it's the Friday before the holidays, before Christmas. I don't know. So I salute you. I welcoming you. This is not a workshop. This is not a webinar. It's only a live show. It's the Friday Live Agile 152, which means the 152 one that I did since my exile in Tulum during the pandemic. Before it was weekly, but for some reason now I'm doing it sporadically when I've got something of quality, authentic to share with you. And so I will reserve some times. You could chat your comment, your question, whatever, but I won't pay attention to it. As we learn in Scrum, I will focus on the proposition of value creation I would like to give today. I did in French last week. It was a success. And now I'd like to address it to my colleague in the United States, the UK, Australia, the Anglosphere, as we say in French, the Anglosphere. And it's also the Americana Pax language idioma. And well, I'll do it in Spanish later. I don't know. My professional Spanish is not that good. French and English for now will suffice. But of course, if Ulysse is watching it or any of my colleagues from Mexico or Spain want to translate what we're going to propose in Spanish and do it with me, it will be my pleasure to have it in those three languages. But today, I won't interact necessarily with you in the chat, so just rest assured this is our agreement. I'd like to focus on the first iteration of that proposition, because from inspired by what you just saw, the ARC, and I could actually show you even a little more about this from their website. So the inspiration, I didn't create anything off the bat to propose the Alliance for Responsible Agility, but I'm truly inspired by this new think tank, and we're going to see a bit of history about it. And again, not to paralyze between the World Economic Forum and the ARC. There's other stuff in between, and I do believe that what I want to propose here with the Open Leadership Network and any other people, this is it. Like, this is a ARC. How could we actually arc, the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice, to be just. Not justice in the sense of equity or equality, but being just, common sense, transparent for real. You know, I think this forum that's been created by, among other Dr. Jordan Peterson, Jonathan Pajot, and a lot of people, you might say, oh, these are right-wingers, these are conservative. Yes, so be it. The world economic is as much as some sort of capitalist for the 3% and socialism for the 97% of us. So they create a divide. The arc, it's not about a class war or a clash war. It's about a proposal of value, a value of common sense, a value of researching the true happiness for our experience while we are on this planet Earth. And what I remember in the late 90s, because one of my hypotheses is, since Gorbachev signed out the death threat of the Soviet Union on December 26, 1991, so it's going to be 34 years old now, we start the Western collapse. A lot of people think collapse is something that happened overnight and we are just being destroyed. And no. It's like the Mayan taught me in archaeology and anthropology. The Mayan civilization, when the Spanish arrived in the Mexican Caribbean, in Guatemala and Honduras, they were already collapsed. A collapse could happen like even Rome. Rome switched from a republic to an empire in 50 years. It took 50 years to really see the empire itself. A lot of people think of Rome as only an empire, but it was a republic for about 5 centuries. Up to Caesar, and then Augustin was probably the first emperor, and so on. So what we experience today, because we are in the now, we cannot see the decay, or we try to have blind eyes on what happened. And of course, today I'm going to focus more on business and business agility, and this apparently community of Agile for the last 23 years that try to be a transformation agent, that try to bring first in Agile software development and process. And now with Mike Beadle, what I have learned, and I'm happy that Robert Schneider is listening today. He said hi from Chicago. I miss so much Mike from Chicago as well. I know he was not, I don't know if he was born there, but anyways, I don't want to get into this, but for me, the real illuminary, the real revolutionary, and the 17 co-signer were Dr. Jeff Sutherland, Ken Schraber, and Mike Beadle, the Scrum guys. Because Scrum with the empirical approach, scientific method, and especially with my fellow Mike Beadle, an astrophysic like me, a physicist like me, we understand this importance of the architecture of substantion that I wish Sue Ryu will be here with us to explain it better in terms of adapting this concept of substantion, decentralized, or at least distributed network of organization at the organization level, at the team level, to understand better. Because as he mentioned in Berlin in 2017, he says, like, if you don't know substantion, you don't understand Scrum. And he's right about this, because, yeah, Scrum is just not a rugby team. But anyways, I'm digressing right now. Let's go back to the subject of proposing to you this alliance, or this Agora. Actually, if you're on YouTube, if you're watching on Rumble, X, Instagram, because we are streaming everywhere right now. LinkedIn also, but LinkedIn linked out, because LinkedIn, it's not made for, I don't even see your chat on LinkedIn sometimes because they say it's a comment, so they come later. So anyways, and we have a great survey on YouTube to help us finding a name. Would you prefer Agora, Academy, Forum, I think? But anyways, so of course, I choose the Alliance to be part eventually of this federation of market of ideas with the ARC, which is Alliance for Responsible Citizenship, because we have to take responsible. If we want rights come from freedom, and freedom comes from choice. what are our agency and stewardship to make our own choice and to be free. So again, I duly believe that the blockchain revolution, it's one of the most important invention and technology since electricity and the web, or the internet, if you will. And people don't realize how much this could help us having a cash system of freedom between individuals that will take responsibility for their act. So that's part of it too. And that's part of the great chasm or chasm. Did I say chasm or chasm? Never remember in English. Anyways, so this tipping point, we are at the why the split happened. But instead of paralyzing the split, let's propose a third chair. And I do believe that the ARC is that third chair. What was the first chair? The Davos Forum, the World Economic Forum in the 1970s that been brought to light in the late 90s by a great journalist in Brazil. And ever since then, they came public, and they are a think tank. They are a market of ideas. And don't get me wrong, when you read the website and the mini workshop that they have, the mini kind of paper, white paper, blue book, and everything that they have, there's great ideas into it. Don't get me wrong about this. I do believe that they do great thing, but again, like anything, like even the ARC, I might not agree with everything they do. But the thing is, there's a main core value, and to make better choice, we need that agency for self to take responsibility, be autonomous. And then when we are really strong as an individual, we could contribute to society, could contribute to the collective, and make something happen. And what we see with the WEF, especially in the last 10 years, it's on the disguise of being humanism. They want to treat human like, as I said, what's good for the 3% will not be good for the 97%. So this is where I have a problem with that. And we should all have a problem with that. And like Dr. Chutelain says at Give Thanks for Scrum in Boston a couple of weeks ago, he says, like, one of their proposals is the universal business income, universal basic income. But that came with a lot of condition, a lot of boundaries that remove you for making choice. And less choice you have equal less freedom. And I do believe that we are here on this planet to experience something. Whatever you think you are on a mission, whatever you think you learn, that Earth is a school for some. For some, it's unfortunately a prison. It's a mindset. It's a point of view. And as always, I always like to invite you to my side of the table, hoping that you're going to invite me to the side of your table, so we'll be able to share different perspective, different point of view. That's the purpose of a market of ideas, an open space over a safe space, and being able to actually construct something by challenges, not obstacle. So the World Economic Forum was towards the economy. It was also a federation of many think tanks in sociology and science and political influence and lobbying and everything. And in the midst of being public, more than the Trilateral Commission or the Club of Rome that exists since the end of the World War, we discover in Porto Alegre, I think it was in 2001, after the other chasm of 9/11, they said, like, hold on a second, we're going to create the global, I don't know, because it was mostly in French, Portuguese, and Spanish, but I believe they translated in English. The FSM was Forum Social Mondial, so it's probably the Global Social Forum. And they gather together, instead of being just at Davos, like the World Economic Forum used to do, they gather into Porto Alegre for the first declaration of this social. So they want to propose something more social, more for the people, the worker, the people on the ground, growing our food, and so on and so on. So here there was, like, now you saw the World Economic Forum was not even left or right. They don't care about this left or right paradigm. The World Economic Forum was to social engineering the society based on the economy, based on a crony capitalist instead of a real productive, open, and free market capitalist. And of course, the social or the Global Social Forum from Porto Alegre that went to many cities in Africa and Southern Europe and everything. They were proposing another model more based on the historical materialism of Karl Marx and Frederick Engels approach of there's two classes, they clash, and let's make the best of us. Probably more socialism towards a kind of a communist and what have you. So that was the two chair available for us. And then 2019, 2020 happened. The Brexit movement happened. The Trump movement happened. A lot of things like populist movement happened. People have enough, inflation, stuff like this. So you have in New Hampshire, they start the first free state project. You have in Central Texas, the Greater Reset response with the People's Reset with John Bush and others. They were starting a new federation of Agorism and the D3, decentralized and decentralized finance and so on. So you have those things, and then they gather every January at the same time of the Davos conference. They do it in Austin, Texas, and in Montelatros in Mexico, and 3, 4, 5 language, and they propose other type of values. And the turn of 2022, when the extension of the sanitary measure in Canada were expanded till May 2022, could you imagine that? All of these kind of soft lockdown and constraint around the pandemic, we finally get out of it in May of 2022 in Canada. Yeah, it was very, very long. Trudeau liked to spread the elastic and, like really piss off a lot of collective, even if it's on base anyways. And so Jordan Peterson, Jonathan Pajot, and others, and England, Australia, like the Five Eyes, they gathered together and they prepared this ARC forum, this Alliance for Responsible Citizenship, with another set of value, another core value. So this is where we are. And before jumping into any conclusion of what I'm saying, like I try to be as much objective and historical as possible of those 3 chair or 4 chair, if you include the People's Reset organization, that try to propose a way of life. Why do I prefer the ARC and the People's Reset? It's because those 2 organizations, even if the ARC is mentioning on his website that they are mostly center-right, if they still believe in that Lucy paradigm, be my guest. But both People's Reset and the ARC have at least a great core value of this responsibility, this stewardship that every one of us should have to work for a better way and a smarter way of living together and different and accepting the others with some kind of concept. And what I said in French, because someone in French last week, when I did present the same ideas, start saying like, oh, don't use terms like New World Orders. But excuse me, before my study in physics and astrophysics, I did a first bachelor in political science and public administration and government. And what we learn is this term is a geopolitical term used by foreign affairs. New World Order is not a concept of conspiration or what have you that you see in your sci-fi and your entertainment of those conspiracy buffer. Anyone who is born after 1940 or 1941, for say, had experience in his life at least 6 New World Order. It's a term used in political science and foreign affairs and international geopolitics to mark a moment when the global way of geopolitical paradigm is changing. So why do I say that someone who was born in 1940 has experienced 6 times a New World Order, and we're going towards another one very soon? World War II, that was one. And then after around La Baie des Cochons, the Cuba missiles, and the rise of the Berlin Wall, that was 2 in 1962 around, with the crisis of OPEC and the reorganization of the petrodollars and the supply 1977, and the United States started in 1971 with the gold standard, third New World Order. Then, of course, in 1991, with my hypothesis of the starting of our downfall as a Western civilization or society, with the end of Soviet Union, fourth. Fifth, 9/11, that changed our way of traveling a lot all around the world, and our way of treating terrorist group and so on, and all the geopolitical, like you have non-country, non-nation state fighting against nation states. So that's the fifth. And the sixth, of course, it's the pandemic of COVID-19 that and make us enter into a more like economic new world order. It's the liberal world order versus the rising BRICS and East. So 6, new world order. It's not a fighting end game as some goofy spread on the internet. It's always happening after a dramatic event. Now, this is the objective version. If you'd like to have a beer with some kind of crazy people talking about this is planned anyways, this and that, I don't want to go there. It's a waste of energy and time, and your time is precious too. But I think it was important for me to set the table of an objective reality over anything else. So, in my inspiration for my proposition of an alliance for responsible agility come not only from this kind of geopolitical and societal improvement and so on that we should put forward. I see a lot of business consultant people who pretend to do Agile, because we have also a 97.3% after 23 years. 97% still think that Agile is for software development, not even for IT and security and so on. It's not even like business agility, like Mike Biddle says in one of our meeting in New York a couple of years ago before he passed away. He says the real revolution is that conscious business agility, or even like Daniel Mizik will mention into this open leadership network, this 8 patterns of open business agility. That's the true revolution. Having executive wanting for his achievement and the achievement of their product, their services, their company. And like Drucker remind us, if you don't have customer, you don't have a business. So that's the basic point, the bottom line agility, if you want. And like Steve Denning and Forbes at the early moment of the pandemic says, only the agile people and the agile organization will survive. And so that's why I don't understand, since the split start in 2022, to see all of those coaches, project manager include Scrum Master, going away, being beaten, the return of the big PMI or classical project management, what have you. It's kind of incredible to see that counter-revolution as we have greatness, innovation, and purpose value creation within the enterprise Scrum for business agility of Mike Biddle and so on, and some other great ideas that emerge. We could talk about the open beta codex of Niels Flenging, sort of. But again, just the name kind of confusing people, especially in business and true anarcho-capitalists. So beta is not the right way. I've called it Sigma Codex. If you ask me, if you want to do the Greek letter, don't be an alpha beta, don't be a zeta, don't be either an omega. But if you're a Sigma, you might have a better chance to actually disrupt the market and the way organizations organize themselves. So having said that, for me, the equation of my proposition is, of course, the arc that I just presented you at the beginning of this podcast. It's also the open leadership network of Daniel Mizik and folks. It's also from Harrison Owen, the open space. And of course, what I did create with the next level agility at the Agile Lounge with my 5 values. So I inspire myself of what I would like to propose you today about it. And but before getting into this, I've got some news, some update about my different venture and companies. So we launched this week our merch site. And a lot of people, especially this will be a podcast as well. So my dear jogger on the Dairy Agile podcast that followed me for the last 5 years, we reached 5,000 subscribers all across the platform of Spotify and Apple and so on. And a lot of you were writing to me in the last 3-4 years, could we have a Scrum beer mug? Do we have a cat and stuff in this? So I listened, but I wanted to make sure to have my first MVP with greatness, and we tested it, and my designer came with something. So we have our first iteration of our merch site. And if you are on YouTube, it will be the first link that you could click if you'd like to go. I don't think that this date you're going to have it for Christmas, but or maybe the Orthodox Christmas. But yeah, it's another way to add on to my revenue streams. So here you have it. It's the Agile Lounge merch store. And as you see, as my logo is the Make Agile Scrum Again hat. It's already a bestseller. We're not even live that 3 orders came out for this hat. Apparently people love this dark hat to bring light into the world. And so this is my store now, and for the entire winter and spring, so till the end of March, if you use Scrum Beer at checkout, you will have 20% off your order. And as you could see, the first collection is the Scrum Beer hoodie, Scrum Beer comfortable t-shirt, the famous mug that everybody wants, and we even created like a gray one if you want to show your love with the iPhone and everything. So that's the first one, the first iteration with the Scrum Beer Montreal product line. So you could add it, and the Pine Common, you will have the website URL. So you will be more than welcome to support us and also show your love of our values and proposed values. And of course, we are going to bring to you everything that we mentioned, our tagline, and even proposed by our audience. Our audience are incredible, creative, and product owner, I will say. They say like, oh, you said that in one of your podcasts, episode 56. You should create a t-shirt with that line and this and that. So we're going to do this. I'm going to answer all of these very nice emails that I receive. So expect every line of the Dairy Agile. Now we have the Scrum Beer. We're going to have also the next level agility stuff, the Agile Lounge with the martini and the relax after workshop, and everything will be there. But that's the first iteration. I launch it now because 2025 going to rock the cabana. And even though we've been pressured, because now instead of having 2 Scrum Beer every instead of having Scrum Beer every 2 months or so on, we're going to have spring Scrum Beer and the fall Fuck Up Scrum open space retrospective, as we did with kind of a success 2 weeks ago. So now I did actually put this on sale for free. So if you want to, and this is for people in Montreal, of course. So this 28th edition of the Scrum Beer will be Wednesday, April the 9th in Montreal at the Pub Saint Paul in the old Montreal facing the river. So it's going to be there. If you want to subscribe right now, it's going to be limited to 40 people. And we have tickets for free or 2 for 1 if you'd like to make a contribution. And I'm going to give you a pint of beer for free if you come with a t-shirt or hat of the Scrum Beer. Yes. So if you purchase, so it's always free to meet up, but if you'd like to encourage us, so that's going to be this. So tickets are on sale right now for free. There's a few of them for free. And you could do this before the end of this calendar year, 2024, onward 2025. So it's already there because now we're going to focus on more quality than quantity. And I'd like to have the best people showing up. And that's why just before the holidays break, we launched our store and we put on sale the 28th edition of the Scrum Beer Montreal that will be happening just before Easter, the Christian Easter. So here you have it, guys. I hope you're going to join us to this. And maybe I would like to shout out Daniel Mizik. Of course, today it's a proposition for this Alliance Agora or Academy for responsible agility. But as I told you, one of my inspiration, one of my pillar values, this invitation-based change for the new world of work from Daniel Mizik at the Open Leadership Network. And if it's not done yet, start by reading the Declaration on Progress and Open Social Technology, because I do believe that this declaration will be part of the value setting of this arc, because I would like to create at spring 2025 an open space, mostly in person, but probably hybrid with people remote, to gather and to an open space anything that could enhance this declaration within the proposed alliance or Agora or academia that we'd like to do. So I hope you're going to join us. And this is an invitation. It's a call for action. I don't want to be alone organizing it from Montreal. I'd like to have people from all around the space to do this. And I hope to have people from the Open Leadership Network to help me foster what I'm going to present to you right now. Without further ado, there's no visual for now. It's simply me reading you what I kind of construct as a base, as a foundation. Of course, I'm an open for ideas. I'm an open for anything that could be constructive. It won't be decided here on the chat of this podcast, but it's a first iteration. It's a first proposition that I would like to discuss these values with the Open Leadership Declaration, with the core principle of the ARC, and with what we're going to co-create all of us together in this, what I call right now, the Alliance for Responsible Agility, that could become the Agora, if you'd like to put some Agorism into it. Because I don't know, this is my first ideas. After some conversation on the state of Agile, the state of business agility, and that evolution that we still need, and this new economy, this new automation that's coming, and everything. Because yes, right now, like I see great comment from Robert here. Oh, okay, I cannot see it because of this. Whoops, that's a schmuck. So automation, muscle memory, second nature. This is anti-VUCA. Yes, well, more to discuss about that. I'm not sure I'm saying it. Muscle memory, don't know. But what is anti-VUCA? Because I do believe that all those tools and technology will create more VUCA, will create more fakeness at some point. It could be a great advantage to have these GPT working with us, not for us, with us. That will be the important semantic here. But anyways, more to discuss about automation. But the wall within the next, but even the last 5 years, everything that some of us had predicted to happen in the marketplace of the world of work and the entrepreneurship, the business and the fiscality and economy happen. Whether it's the volatility of all of the capital, investment fund, all of the way of working, including that automation. Anyway, so there's more VUCA since we implement some kind of those strategy. And now, and according to agility, some people want to reimagine it. So sorry, Dr. Smith, Mr. I. Smith, that's no way to reimagine something that's been rejected or was not well enough proposed, too noisy. Now, I think we need to signal, and to signal, we need to embark in a mission with a vision that goes like this. So here it is, my mission statement for this alliance or this Agora or this Academy for Responsible Agility. It's fostering a community of professionals and business agility who have agency and they do exercise stewardship in their work, delivering transformative value through responsible leadership, ethical practices, and meaningful collaboration, putting the human experience at the forefront. So what do you think of it? So far, so good? That's the first iteration proposal of a mission statement for this responsible agility. And I did create, I love the number 13. We are Friday the 13th. And instead of 4 values and 12 principles, I do propose 5 core values and 8 principles of responsible action that will inform actually our action and our pattern and that mindset. So the first value of this new forum that we could create, this new Agora of a market of idea, but with action, with call to action, should be integrity. And I define integrity here for this responsible agility as upholding honesty, transparency, and ethics in all interaction and decision that we do. Because yes, remember, we manage decision. We are not managing project. We are not managing people. We are not managing anything, actually. The only thing we manage is the decision to have choice. And it should be done with integrity. 2, the second value is empowerment. A lot of people lip service it, but in our case, I would like will be an agent of transfer action to truly define what is empowerment. Maybe it's the Beta Codex that should be called Sigma Codex. Maybe it's Rob Schneider ideas of governance and so on. But I define this core value here, the second core value of empowerment, as equipping individuals and teams to realize their full potential and take ownership of their work. Willing people, capable people. That's how you empower them. Third, the third value is collaboration. Of course, it's a no-brainer. And now do I define collaboration? My proposition here is building trust and fostering partnership across diverse perspectives to co-create value. Yeah, value creation, you're not alone. Like Nassim Haramein says in a quantum physics conference lately in Paris, he said, like all those gurus out there, they told you like, oh, create your own reality. Yeah, but you forget the second sentence. What about our reality, the reality of others? Because you'll be alone. You'll be alone. You could go alone like a good wolf. It's important especially if you're introvert, you need that energy. But remember that creation of value, you're not doing it alone. You do it in collaboration with trust, and you foster partnership. My fourth value proposition is sustainability. Yeah, I don't really like this word, to tell you the truth. I put it out there, open to discussion. So let's see, how do I define this sustainability and responsible agility? It's prioritizing action that deliver long-term benefit to people, organization, and society. Yes, if we want to be part, if we want to be federate with the ARC or the People's Reset, we should have a global vision of these long-term benefit for people, organization, and society, and act locally according to our expertise or desire to do the change and the transformation. And finally, the fifth and the last value, the core value for the responsible agility is excellence. Yes, stewardship, excellence. Striving for continuous improvement and the pursuit of mastery of all the agile practices. So we don't need to reimagine it, to go beyond or all that bullshit that we see on the internet, Medium, LinkedIn, about redefining something that was created for agile software development. No, what we need to do together and different is striving for continuously improving these and the pursuit of the mastery of the agile practice to become really a Scrum master, really an agile master, not a coach, not a consultant, mastering it with stewardship. And now let's take a little break before going through the value, because I got a lot of chat here. So thank you, Mr. Schneider. Now the hat, could I move the hat? Do you see my hat moving now? To see the message of my people? Yes, bravo for the mission statements. Thank you for that. And I hope you're going to join us this spring on the invitation that we're going to do. And what else do we have? Yes, I did believe it's a private user on LinkedIn. I don't know. It's Ryan. Okay. Yeah, the Beta Codex Network, Ryan Erickson, Niels. These are name or I'm not sure. But anyways, as I mentioned, I love the core structure behind the Beta Codex, and I will be more than pleased to have Niels at the open space, and even you, Ryan. And I hope you're doing better, Ryan, without going into more private, but my thought is with you and your family. And yeah, so again, think about it, Sigma Codex. Because Beta, it's kind of, I don't know, I still don't grasp it. What else we have? Like here. This is interesting. I hope my hat had moved. So the first word, if my hat is still, because for me in the studio, I move the app up. But if it's still down, good culture, that's the first word. Equal, according to Mr. Schneider. Improving our discipline, plus improving our empathy. Exactly. But do you think it's only cultural? Do you think it's about leadership, actually? Is this equation could equal leadership? Lead by example with discipline. And as I mentioned, also, if the individual is strong enough, it will contribute strongly to the society. But I like that. I like that question to expand. And so let's finish the show with the let me see. I'm just curious. It's live in a live, so I'm just curious if my hat did move. Oh yeah, it moved. Cool. I like this. And now that I'm watching YouTube directly on my control monitor, I love the like. Thank you for the like. And yes, if you would like to help me spread the message, do it for free. It's a like. Share this video to others, to invite them. So I will be more than happy to grow and quality of presence and attention. This and anything. So let's go to the 8th principle to inform the action that we could do together within this alliance of, I was going to say, yeah, this alliance of for responsible agility. So there's 8. Let me go fast on it because I'm sure that everybody want to go off for the weekend. So lead by example. It's a no-brainer for me. It's the model the behavior and mindset you wish to see in others. You have to model it and go with a bit with your. That's why I'm asking you: is it good culture or good leadership? Your equation, because it could be for both. The second principle that I propose here, it's prioritize people over process. Yes, this is from the Agile Lounge, of course, and it's even from the manifesto if you like, but let's put it into action. Prioritize people over process, foster human connection, and value-driven outcomes above rigid frameworks. One of the reasons of the failure of our agile software development movement that couldn't reach out with real business agility towards the other, agilizing, as Mike says, agilize everything in your organization, because you could not be an agile organization if it's only the software shop or the IT shop that is agile. Framework and position. The water Scrum fall. And framework and position, not just of the agility aspect, also the PMI is responsible for that. So let's have in mind that if you prioritize the people who work with you, not for you, those you hire to challenge you, to foster your product, your solution, to help satisfy your client that you need to create, but you need to keep. You need a return customer. This is what you need to do. No framework, no process, no BS. No DIE, no ESG. No. Focus on what you're good at and engage and respect people you hire to do things that you need to do that you cannot do. Like the Pet Shop Boys song, you got the brain, I got the look, let's make lots of money. Exactly. So there's no framework that will get you there. It's stupid. And that's why I said Scrum, it's a system thinking. You have to think of it as a system that you could actually configure into different set of tools or need of process to drive those value-driven outcomes that you need. And maybe using the objective key result will help you define this and revisiting it, improving it. As soon as you have new information, new people joining you with their perspective, remember, invite me on your side of the table for me to see what you see instead of judging me that I don't see it or I don't understand. Simple like it. The third principle for responsible action within this proposition of an organization is embrace transparency. Yes, it's easy to say transparency, but for me, I prefer that we, as an action, we embrace transparency, which is share information openly to build trust and align with the collective goals. Not just your own egoistical goal, your narcissistic goal of a parasitic mind. Open it. Be really open. Share your stuff. Be challenged. Challenge others. Embrace transparency. That will make you a better, authentic leader also, if you're a leader. The fourth out of 8 principles for responsible action, it's act with courage. Oh, it's funny in Scrum, you have courage. Yes. How do they define courage? I don't want even to get there. For me, as I said, these are principles for responsible action. So I put a verb of action. So act with courage, which means make bold decision. Be bold and proceed. But those bold decisions should be guided, okay, by values and principle, even in the face of uncertainty. Next one, the fifth one out of 8, it's commit to a lifelong learning. This is the utmost continuous improvement. Let me repeat it again. Commit to a lifelong learning. Continuously seek knowledge to adapt, grow, and remain relevant. And you know what? This one, when I think of it, it was really my takeaway of Jeff Schutterlin last talk in Agile Boston 2 weeks ago, when he said, like, with this automation, with these new AI that could replace a product owner, and gladly though, because sometimes, whatever, that may be an editorial for another time, but we have to be and remain relevant. AI, the web before, the search engine, the whatever the tool or the fracking process that you're using, how do you make it your advantage instead of using it to fake it till you make it? There's no such thing as fake it till you make it. Just be authentic. Just embrace transparency and commit to this lifelong learning. More information you have, and if you're able to communicate that information and share it transparently, here you have it. This is how do you remain relevant in a world where you're going to compete not only with other human beings, but with some kind of machine learning, data-driven speed processor, and everything. So stay relevant with knowledge and apply that knowledge into value creation and in collaboration with others. So you see all the interaction. So the sixth one now, out of 8, it's respect diverse perspective. I think it's one of my mottos since high school with my French ensemble et différent, together and different. I'm a real cosmopolitan, not multiculturalist. I don't believe in multicultural aspect of the England and Canada. I do believe in cosmopolitan and the melting pot of United States. So together and different. So respect diverse perspectives, which is for me to honor the unique contributions of every one of us, every individual, and promoting inclusion and equity based on that unique contribution alone. Not within intersectionality of the color of your skin, your sexual orientation. And by the way, what a loosey, stupid thing to have when you apply for a job. I saw it to one of my clients, I won't name it, to ask what is your sexual orientation. It's none of your business. The diverse perspective should be about the ideas and the proposed value according to your skill set, and to be responsible enough to say it and to propose it. So when I say inclusion and equity, it's about that possibility for either temperament that you are, that your ideas and the best idea win. It's have nothing to do about your gender, your ethnicity, or what have you. It's have only to do about what I said here. The unique contribution that you, as a beautiful and powerful human being, you do and you have to propose. A stronger individual will contribute to a stronger community. That's real inclusion and equity, if you ask me. 7 out of 8 of my principle for responsible action is deliver meaningful impact. And the impact, it's open to discussion. Could it be value, proposition? I don't know, but you have to make an impact. And it have to be meaningful, and you have to action it with delivering it. Do you make it happen or not? If you never make it happen, it's because there's no impact. It's not meaningful enough. So change it. So this principle, I define it this way. Focus and action that bring tangible value and leave a positive legacy behind. So this is what we need to do for people to remember that what you did, what we did, because we over me sometimes, and probably this Agile manifesto for software development, for Agile software development, they probably lacked of this too. Because with the chasm and the democratization of this and the hijacking of it, now I'm going to see another hijacking, the hijacking of Bitcoin again with big institution with the Trump win. Yeah, we have to be careful about this because when it's coming mainstream, you have charlatan, you have snake oil. So we have to deliver meaningful impact to be remembered. Like the real McCoy, Dr. McCoy, the standard of stainless and silver and everything, when it's marked real McCoy, it's because it's a standard of a meaningful impact that Dr. McCoy had in this engineering metallurgy world. That's why we call it real McCoy. And I use that term also in honor to him. And anything that we do, the originality of it, that have a meaningful impact. And lastly, my last principle before the weekend, before I let you go, it's promote accountability. Of course, if you want to be responsible agilist, responsible agility for a smarter and better business agility in action, we need to promote accountability to our leaders and to everyone. Actually, it's not, you don't have to be a leader or a business owner to have accountability. Every one of us should be accountable of what we say we're going to do. So take ownership. Oh, I know it's hard. It's so hard. Why it's so hard? Because people are lazy. People are not real. They are not authentic. So that's why I don't want to own anything and I want to be happy. Yes, sure. No. Not with us. Not if you join us. With us, every ideas, every concept, everything, product, services, solution, any idea that you'd like to promote, take the fracking ownership of commitments and outcomes while holding others to their responsibility. Yes. So eventually, what I do call preemptively our group, our association, our Agora, our academy, could be also an advisory forum and our open circle. That shall be federate. We should federate ourselves within the People's Reset or the Alliance for Responsible Citizenship, the ARC. If they see value in business agility principle that could inform pattern and practice for the specific business evolution model within those greater organizations that have a federation of multiple ideas. So that's kind of my dream for 2025 moving onward. And concrete action will be to have an open space in the spring of 2025, all of us together, to establish together the foundation of this choose name for responsible agility. So, dear Danielle Mizik, Joseph De Angelis, the entire Boston Agile group, the entire Open Leadership Network group, Harold Shinsato, Ryan Erickson, Shun Ganyeklish, John Jorgensen, Michael Orman, Suriyu, and many other, Robert Schneider, Dr. Shaligwe, and tag people, tag and invite other to speak up, to spread these ideas, to spread that proposition that it's only a proposition now, and give me your first thought to build this open space. Are you with me? And now I see a lot of chat before leaving. So, Mr. Schneider, I hope it's going to fit on the screen. Let's see this. Yeah, I think it is. Tell me, please. A concern about two leadership paradigm, value and principle. These are not solving our biggest problems. We should consider a lower altitude leadership paradigm. I can share an idea later. Yeah, but just join us in the open space and let's expand on it. But I like the perspective. This seems to be. Just want to see if there's someone else. Across the whole platform right now, there's 53 people watching, but I don't know. So Rob, you seems to be on YouTube. Okay. What else here? Oh, whoa. Aha. We have Lily here looking forward for this open space and to this spring Scrum beer too. Yeah, but don't confuse people because the Scrum beer will be an addendum of it, but I don't want to exclude people that are not in Montreal, but that's a great thing. Of course, the Scrum beer on April 9. I will hope that in March we'll gather together those bright people that I name tag and others to do something hybrid. We could do it from Montreal or from New York or from Austin, Texas, and having it in video conference as well. That's my kind of dream right now. But thank you that you look forward. I look forward to meet you too. And let's go back to Mr. Schneider here. And by the way, Lily, meet Mr. Schneider. He's a great. Should I say, were you a Beatles? Tell me in the chat, Robert, if you were a Beatles too, with Michael Orman, John, and everything. I'm surprised that I met you in Ottawa and not before. But anyways, tell me about this. Where is our interconnection into this great movement? And you said, yes, the Agile Manifesto was a reaction to what was going on with the web and the middle. Of course, were you there? I was on Merck. This is where I introduced myself to Beadle and others. And that was astonishing to see the debate, and they spread an invitation. It should have been actually in 1999, if I remember correctly, but then the dot-com bubble happened. So they continue to, especially Alistair Cockburn. He was very vocal about him being the best process. And Mr. Thomas, Uncle, what was the name of David? The pragmatic Dave Thomas. Those were nasty guys, if you remember, on the Merck channel, because I was on the Merck channel. My name was Freddy93. If you remember that, Rob, I don't know, but yes, I remember that story 23 years ago, 24 years ago soon. And Jim I. Smith, poor guy, you want to reimagine it with Agile Alliance. Bye-bye. That's the reason why I'm opening to change the name. because some people are so what should I call it? They are so like don't like Alliance because of Scrum Alliance and because of Agile Alliance. But for me, of course, in my proposition, because I'm inspiring myself and I wish to join the greater market of ideas with our business agility model towards the ARC. So that's why I created the ARC ARA, for those who know the language. But I will be open to an Agora. I don't know. I'm going to go before closing to see if you vote. Those who are watching on YouTube, it's time for you to vote also, to give me. And there's also a survey on my feed of my LinkedIn profile. You could go there. And did I miss something from, because Robert, I'm sure you will be a great contributor, a great person, as we say in the open space. Those who are here are the ones should be there. Or Ryan, if you're still there, correct me. Maybe I don't know. So did I put like I heard a new version of melting pot. Since this term can suggest losing your self-identity. Really? The new term is I like it. Toss it salad. Yeah, but okay, yeah, why not? I like it. We are all included, but we don't lose our uniqueness. Of course. Will you be the pickle or the cucumber or the tomato? Who will you be in the tossed salad? But I like it, and I hope I didn't offend anyone, because as a French Canadian, and I grew up in a great cosmopolitan city, my mother told me that to be sure to not offend anyone, use that Greek roots cosmopolitan. Multiculturalism from England and Canada, it's a failure. Like the Agile, it's a failure for some reason of these principles were not appropriately applied. But my uncle, who used to live and work in the United States, in the Boston area, was always saying like, I prefer the melting pot. Okay, so now melting pot, it's suggests losing self-identity. I didn't know that. But of course, the Republic of France, Republic of Germany, the Sweden, they integrate people. I know, because I applied to become a Swedish citizen, and the condition were 2 years to pass an exam, oral written exam of speaking fluently Swedish. And so you don't lose yourself or your self-identity, but you have to identify as a Swede. And it was kind of too hard for me, so I just, after my work permit of 2 years in Lund, Sweden, I came back in Canada. So, but that's a good thing. Okay, there's anything. So nothing else. 13:08 and French hours, 1 p.m. 08 Eastern. I love those numbers, especially on the Freya. I'm gonna celebrate the Freya today. It's the goddess Venus, the light, because we're entering in the week of the shortest day or the longest night, depending on your perspective again. And the northern hemisphere, of course, if you're watching it from Lima, Peru, you'll say like, no, our days are longer. I know, motherfucker. But here in Montreal and anywhere in the northern hemisphere, from the 13th to the solstice of the 21st, it's going to be the darkest night week. And starting Christmas on December 25th, we're going to give, the sun will rise 1 minute earlier than it is right now. And this is what we call resurrection. That's the Son of Sun rising up again. So on that, I wish you great holidays, happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, jolly Merry Christmas. I don't wish you Happy New Year, because we are still in this Gregorian calendar and 2024. But I'm going to have a special Friday night live Agile show with cocktails and stuff. If you'd like to join, somewhere between Christmas and New Year's Eve, late at night, with, as we say in French, the leftover of the turkey and what have you. It's going to be fun. And I will do what I call for the last 5 years, on retrospective, on New Year, onward 2025. So it's going to be an open forum. You're going to receive the invitation through LinkedIn and everywhere for the date exactly. So that's going to be the only show expected from now to 2025, this kind of on retrospective, onward 2025 having fun. It's always fun, especially when I have someone in the studio and we mingle. So that will be it. And on that, beautiful people, remember who you truly are. You are wonderful. You are powerful. And your power resides in the choice. You have to be free. And to be free is to decide who you want it to be. You could be whoever you want it to be. You could do whatever you wanted to do, and respect of one another. On that, happy weekend, happy Freya, and see you next time.